Victor Wembanyama has been absolutely amazing lately for our San Antonio Spurs. The rest of the guys, not so much.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. And TGIF, is it really problem in San Antonio? I mean, we're 500, playing competitive, but we're in the 11th spot for the, so that is a lottery pick. So is that the goal? I don't know. But I found an article from Pounding the Rock, and then I want to expand on what's going on with our Spurs as of late. In an interesting develop, referencing the Knicks game, neither Zach Collins or Charles Bassey saw time in the contest, and San Antonio's lineups did not seem the better for it. Without the ability to play 5 out in those smaller lineups, our Spurs lost multiple leads in a manner that suggests that San Antonio's big man issue are now verging on urgent needs. Wemby's minutes are up, and in that game against the Knicks, he played the entire fourth quarter. It definitely seemed gassed near the end. He was scoreless in the last 6 minutes. Zach Collins, I'm guessing in the doghouse, was playing poorly this season. Then he had the middle finger incident, and then he got hurt. So who knows if and when we'll see him on the court again, if it's not garbage time. And then Charles Bassey, I thought was our backup center. 6 minutes versus Philly, okay, and then none against the Knicks with Jeremy Sohan playing center. And there were times where we really needed a defensive stop, maybe some rim protection, some rebounding, whatever. And I was shocked that Bassey played 0. Let's get on to the second part of the article, and that's where we're going to focus on a heck of a lot more. Harrison Barnes and Devin Vassell both had rough performances in this one. And while Barnes has always been a little streaky going back to his Golden State Warriors days, Vassell is being paid as a third option and will need to start performing accordingly. He's actually our highest paid player. But anyway, I digress. In his defense, Vassell has been banged up a bit this season, but the Spurs can ill afford for both players to be off at the same time. And Vassell's shooting is supposed to be his calling card. That Vassell has continued to be fairly inconsistent on defensive end only makes us all more critical, and I want to add a player to this list here with Harrison Barnes and Devin Vassell. And that is going to be Mr. Kellin Johnson. Kellin, Devin, Harrison have been very inconsistent throughout most of the year and really underperforming as of late. This is Kellin's last 5 games, and we're going to get to the other two guys too. Kellin Johnson's last 5 games, he was averaging 20 minutes per game. Minutes are down because he's not playing great. Shooting splits of 44, 17, and 100. Averaging 7.2 points per game, 2.5 rebounds and assists. Kellin has been horrible from 3 all year, shooting a career worst 28%. This is not the 6th man we expected. I was not expecting Manu Ginobili, but I thought Kellin would be the spark plug off the bench, but he is disappearing quite often in games. And in the last 2 losses, he had 4 points versus the 76ers and 2 points versus the Knicks. He only took 2 shots on Christmas Day, and I know Wemby was taking a lot of shots, but that game he was just out there running cardio. 2 shots? And the thing that frustrates me with Kellin is we'll see this highlight reel poster dunk, and then that's it. We'll see nothing the rest of the game, and I'm like, what? That's it. We get that one moment, think you're going to, no, you did nothing the rest of the game. So Kellin certainly has not been contributing the way I thought he would this season. Also talking about not contributing, at least not since his Western Conference Player of the Week, Harrison Barnes has fallen off a cliff in his last 5. About 22 minutes a game, shooting splits of 36, 30, and 56. 7 points per game and under 2 rebounds and under 2 assists. Against the 76ers, he had 0. I scored as many points as Harrison Barnes in that game. Against the Knicks, he was better. He had 3. But this is the same Kellin Johnson experience where just disappearing. I mean, I get you're not going to go out there every night being a role player, a bench player, etc., scoring 15 to 20. But when you're going out there and putting up a goose egg or 2 points, you're not helping your team win at all. And the Spurs didn't win those games. And now maybe a controversial one. Some of you think that he's going to be our second best player. Some of you think he's overrated. Somewhere in between. Whatever it is, Devin Vassell, 31 minutes a game in his last 5. Shooting splits of 41, 27, and 90. Averaging 13 points per game. And 3 rebounds and 2 assists. He's not out there to rebound and assist, of course, but he's out there to be our second scorer. And 12.8 just ain't going to cut it. He is, in my opinion, the most streaky shooter on the Spurs. At least a player that takes a good volume of shots. And some nights he looks like a potential all-star. And I'm like, man, Devin, you are killing it. And then other nights he looks like a bench player. In both recent losses, he was 4 of 11 from the field. 4 of 11 against Philly, 4 of 11 against New York. In his last 3 games, he's combined 2 of 13 from three-point land. I mean, he's usually our best three-point shooter, but I said streaky. And I mean, if you look at his log all year, three-pointers, it's like 0 for 6, 5 for 7, 0 for 4, 4 for 5. And it's like, it's all or nothing this year with his three-point shooting. He's our highest paid player at $29.3 million a year. I do expect more. I don't expect him to score 20 to 30 every night. But going out there and laying duds, that's part of the problem. And what the bigger part of the problem is what I'm seeing, Spurs fans, is it's becoming the one-man Wemby show. Well, I love seeing Wemby go off. Yes, it's amazing. And look what he's doing in his last 5 games. In about 36 minutes a game, shooting splits of 49, 41, 88. He's just a few percentage points short of the elusive 50, 40, 90 club. Averaging 32 points per game, 10 rebounds, and an astronomical 6.5 blocks a game. Those are Defensive Player of the Year stats. Those are MVP stats. Those are Most Improved Player of the Year stats right there, right? Am I not wrong? But it can't be a one-man Wemby show. You win by playing team basketball. What Wemby's doing right now is starting to remind me a little of what David Robinson, who, right behind me, was doing in the 90s with the Spurs. Carrying the team, leading the team in scoring, rebounding, blocks, steals, doing a little bit of everything. And yeah, you'll get some wins that way. Probably be a playoff team. It's not going to work long term. It didn't work when it was just David Robinson, got to the playoffs and knocked out every year. Wemby cannot keep carrying the team like this every single night. He shouldn't have to. Some of those stats I think he can keep up, but taking 30 shots like he did against the Knicks, we need other guys to step up. And when I look at this team, it's not just Kellin Johnson, Harrison Barnes, or Del Massell. It's a lot of folks. Trey Jones doing a fantastic job distributing the ball. He's not scoring anymore. He's not even looking to shoot anymore. I think he's averaging under 4 points per game at the time of this video. Usually 10 or more, but now down to 4. We've had odd lineups. Speaking of Trey Jones, out there with Chris Paul. Why are we running 2 guys at around 6 feet tall at point guard? What are we doing? Mitch, we need rebounding. Maybe bring in Charles Bassey. Nope, we're going to run Jeremy Sohan at center. These mistakes that the team's making, that the coaching staff is making, little mistakes everywhere or the poor performances, whatever you want to chalk it up to, are going to stand up more when you could and probably should win a game. That game against the Sixers was very winnable, especially once Joel Embiid got tossed out, and we could have beat the Knicks. We could have. Expectations are up from the fans and quite frankly the players. Wemby wants to win. You could see in his last interview that he's like, "Hey, we should have won that." If you look at his interview, get the vibe he thinks they should have won that game, but they didn't. And I wonder, Spurs fans, if the roster we built is just not the right roster for Wemby for the team to be at its best, because we weren't expecting to get a 7'3" unicorn that shoots 10 to 15 threes a game, but we have one. Now we have to put the right pieces around him. And when we drafted Jeremy and everybody before him, Wemby was not in the picture. So I think this is a team that's going to continue to be 500 throughout the year. But there's a problem if we're going to expect Wemby to keep playing 40 minutes a game or more. He clearly doesn't have the stamina to do it. He needs to rest. We can't keep expecting him to play 12-minute fourth quarters. And he's going to get tired of this. I don't think he's going to say it. But you don't want to go out there every night putting up numbers like this and losing. That's frustrating. I can't imagine what's in his head right now. I'm sure he's happy he's playing well. But, I mean, I don't know him. But yeah, look at every interview with him since he became a Spur. He wants to win. And losses like the last 2 are frustrating. I'm sure he's frustrated. I'm sure the team's frustrated. But seeing these guys go out and put up donuts or 2 points or 3 points, that's not going to work either. That's not going to be the equivalent of long-term success. So I think closing out this video, we're probably going to be around a 500 team the rest of the year. I still think we can get to 41 to 45 wins. It's a stacked Western Conference. We may finish 11th. Or we might just make it into the play and get knocked out. Whatever happens, I'll be go Spurs go. But we clearly need another scoring threat. Devin's too inconsistent. And Jeremy Sohan has no outside shot. For him to be a consistent scoring threat right now, so we definitely need another scorer on this team. I think Vassell's a fantastic third option, as it was mentioned in the article, but as a second option, at this point, at the time of this video, way too inconsistent. So drop a comment down below, Spurs fans. What do you think's going on with our team? Are you happy with where we are? I'm happy we're playing better. I mean, we're 500. That's. I think we'll beat the Nets tonight. Be live for that cheap plug, but I'm happy where the team's at. I think we're going in the right direction, but maybe some of the pieces around Wemby aren't the right ones, and I don't know. We'll figure it out, right? We'll be here no matter what. I'm rambling now. I don't want to keep you in more time. Drop a comment, hit the subscribe, support the channel. It's crowd to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I'll see you tonight for the Nets. Until next time, and as always, go Spurs, go.